You are now entering what can only be described as a true free speech zone, where nothing is off limits and there is absolutely no censorship. Welcome to Open Mic with Boog Brand.
Good evening, everybody. We are live at Open Mic with Boog Brand this beautiful, beautiful Friday night. We have with us in the chat real quick, we've got Hypoluxia, Chamber of Defense, Crazy Eyes. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I can't forget Operator Tony. You're always here, always shaking your hand at the first. I kind of screwed with you tonight. Didn't put this up any earlier. But our guest, obviously, tonight, everybody knows, is the one, the only Brandon Herrera, otherwise known as the AK guy, AK Jesus, AK other things that I refuse to fucking say because I don't call anybody daddy.
Thank God, thank Christ. What's up, man? It's a pleasure to be on. Sorry my video's out. My streaming setup has still not been perfected or set up yet.
Well, it's
working on that.
It's Russian, so it's going to take time.
Exactly. You get it.
So, what in the world is going on with the one guy who seems to just walk through and make shit happen?
Well, I'm glad it really looks like that, because on the back end, it's a lot of making sure every single thing is up in a row so I can just walk through when I got to. And it looks flawless, but yeah, it's a lot of just behind the scenes stuff, setting everything up. Right now we're about to be spending about 3 weeks in Texas, so I've got to set up, build courses, Kalash Bash, going to be going back to Drive Tank. So we've got to film like 4 pieces of content, 4 videos in the next 3 days before we leave. So that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think a lot of us know that there's a lot more on the back end than, what's shown. I know specifically a lot of the guys here, we see, even just what goes on behind Tundra, and you're putting stuff and nothing against Tundra. I mean, you're putting stuff up on a bi-weekly, 2 times a week schedule, sometimes 3 with your B channel. You're really just, pounding out the content. Plus, obviously, you got the AK factory, that's starting to kick off. We see you on Instagram posting stuff. You got stuff being built in batches now.
Slowly but surely. It's painstaking. It takes so damn long on the setup that, most people are just like, well, you're a gun builder, build guns. It's like, well, yeah, kind of. But, a lot of people don't see some of the custom work we've been doing and stuff like that. And a lot of the setup, so much stuff to get set up for production, stuff like that I'm hoping it'll get rolling. Like, it's already rolling now, but it'll get running more and more smoothly as it goes on. And the more, I guess, the longer it goes on with nothing going wrong, or at least minimal things going wrong, the less I have to be there, and the more I can do other stuff, I guess. So the less it's going to take time away from the other things. Right.
You set your business up to run itself so you can do what you want to do.
Bingo. And just we're adding more and more people on. That helps a lot. We started out with 1 full-time person at the beginning of the year. Actually 2. I mean 2 if you count my camera guy and editor.
I think everybody counts Delance.
Yeah, no, Delance is the bomb on the video and editing side. But we started with 2. Now we've got 5 now. Maybe adding a 6th by the end of the year. So it's slowly growing. It's still a small company for sure, but I like the direction it's starting to go.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you're what, 25? You're somewhere around
24.
There, right? 24. I mean, you're a fucking baby, especially in this industry, especially in AKs. I mean, you're down there, but you've got a name. People know who you are.
For better or worse.
Right. I mean, don't if you like your name, don't go to ar15.com.
Oh, that's my favorite place to go, like Air 15 Nation, stuff like that. Especially, so the funny bit was early last year when we dropped AR guys versus AK guys for the first time, or AR guys versus AK guys 2, whatever. Just going there and seeing the complete lack of humor, just the total legitimate butthurt on some of those forums was hilarious.
A lot of those guys do not get the bit. That is for sure.
Yeah, the satire flows right over it.
Yeah, they definitely miss that.
A lot of the AK guys too. A lot of the AK guys are really genuinely insulted to know that I own several ARs You're just like, well, what do you mean? I thought ARs were for gay people. It's like, well, no, well, Jesus. Like,
Can you just have fun? Can you have fun? Like, guns are guns. Yeah, each one has their purpose.
Yeah, I have good guns. I have shitty guns. I have lots of some guns I know are kind of dumb, but they make me happy. So whatever.
Right. Hey, and nobody can knock the fact that you get to put a giggle switch in whatever the fuck you want. So fuck them. Right?
Yeah, also for better or for worse sometimes, because we sometimes like we'll just put like we were looking at making the tow crib full auto, bringing that on the license and just making that just for no reason, just to do it. It's like, you know what? I pay my money every year. I keep my bound book like a good little boy. So you know what? Fuck it, might as well.
Yeah, I think that's a part a lot of people don't see and a lot of people don't get, and everybody says, oh, just go get your SOT, get this, get that, and it's like, it'll be gravy. It's like, you realize how much fucking paperwork is involved in that?
Yeah, the paperwork, I mean, it depends on what kind of scale. I mean, we got our FFL in like 3 months. We got our SOT like a month after that. So, I mean, it's not too bad. It's a lot of keeping up with the balance books and stuff like that and just keeping everything straight. It's like, you know what? Do we like the ATF? No. Is it a small price to pay to basically do whatever the fuck I want and put it on the internet? Yeah, I'll take that. I'd push the button,
Yeah. I think that's, a lot of people don't know necessarily the side of you that is organized. I mean, obviously, I don't really know you that well either, but knowing where you come from and what you have to go through, I mean, coming out of, giving up on law school, you've got a side of you that can be definitely more organized. And I think that's part of what leads to your success,
Excellent phrasing on more organized. Definitely not organized, but more organized. Chaotic evil, most people would assume.
I'm not saying you're organized. I'm assuming you're a lot more organized than you portray on camera.
I try to be, yes. My dad, I'm looking around, you're saying all this stuff, and I'm just looking around my desk because it's an absolute fucking tornado.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think I have, me in person, I like to say I'm kind of fun, but I've got a lot more of a serious tone than I'd portray in videos and stuff like that, which the videos, obviously, it's almost like a character. I joke that it's like my personality boosted by 50%, and that's the AK guy on camera.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see that. You got a brand, it's something that took off, and if you look back to like your first videos, you weren't there yet. You found it a little bit later, and definitely, obviously, AR guys versus AK guys just kind of fucking catapulted you. But there was a lot of.
I think that was the moment where we realized that, and I always kind of knew it, but everybody falls in the same trap, especially small YouTubers and whatnot. People just. They take themselves too seriously, and I did that too. Everybody does it, but like I think I just realized comedy. People want to laugh. People don't want. There's a million guys who are wanting to be the tactical Timmy, but like, you know what? I'm willing to not take myself seriously at all, and I'd like to think I'm decent at like comedic timing and things like that. So it's like, okay, there aren't a lot of people doing that in the industry.
Right, so and I get it. I get it completely. I mean, I don't go to YouTube to be taught. I'll go to YouTube to find out how to do something, but I don't really go there to be taught. Like, you can't learn tactics necessarily by YouTube. You can learn what to do and what not to do, but you still got to put in the practice. You still got to get out there and do it. So,
sure, gun stuff. Nothing compared to like a class,
right?
Taking a course is one thing where that you'll actually learn stuff. You maybe get 20% of that from a YouTube video, whereas I can get 100% of the entertainment value from a YouTube video.
Right. And that's just it. Like, I don't care. I'll watch these videos like, you're shooting wrong, and then kind of just laugh at all the people who are going to go out and not understand what was actually even said and fuck their shit up even worse.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't do like instructional stuff is I could give 95% of it properly and say like, just like get my facts wrong on one thing in the video, and people will be like, see, this guy's a fucking fraud, blah, 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 blah. I'd rather not deal with the fucking headache. But the other side of things is that people will just botch it. It's like, oh God, that's not what I said to do, bud. He's blaming me for, oh crap. So I just, I stick to comedy. I think it's a lot funnier.
Right. I mean, your whiteboard of knowledge stuff though kind of breaks that mold a little bit. I mean, you definitely get in there. Yeah.
I can't help it. I love stuff like that, and that I do research extraordinarily well ahead of time, like while I'm there, like just because I know how the stuff works, but I want to be 100% sure before I say some dumb shit. And there's 1 or 2 times that I have fucked that up, but I try to keep it super minimal.
Yeah, I think
like
you've done really well with it. I mean, for the most part, anything that you have got wrong, I haven't caught. I don't think a lot of people have caught it. I mean, I'm a mechanical engineer, so when I see this stuff, I break it down too, and it's like, I don't see anything really wrong with what you're saying here.
Oh shit! You didn't tell me you were a smart guy. Now I'm gonna have to watch what I say.
Oh no, I'm not a smart guy. I just said it was a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I'm more or less a designer. I came from a shop floor, so I worked my way into the position. So everything that I do works because I over-engineer the shit out of it, not because I ran any numbers.
Okay. But there you go. That's kind of the... So you're the guy who tells them, hey, okay, you probably shouldn't put a screw there because somebody's going to work on that and they can't access it.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of people in my industry that don't care about that. But I think really...
They work at Dodge? I've noticed Dodge has a problem with that.
I'm pretty sure that a mechanic fucked around with an engineer's wife at Dodge, and they're getting payback on the mechanics.
Yep, and the rest of us, Every time so my current truck is a Dodge Ram, but I have a project car I've been working on for a while. It's a '69 Charger, and even when I was a teenager working on that thing, man, I just like there's things that pop out. You're just like, wow, why the fuck did they do it that way?
Yeah, the Charger's a lot different though. At least there's room to work.
Yeah, that's true. Before they just started cramming everything together. Although, like, it's super weird because I mean, you got to like lift the car off the damn K-frame to work on the motor and stuff like that. It's really, really bizarre. You could tell like there were 3 different teams working on that. There's the motor team, the suspension team, and the body team, and then they just kind of shoved it together and produced it.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, well, yeah, it did. And it looks sexy as hell.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing that's like it on the road. Even the new shit just kind of falls short.
Dude, I cried myself to sleep when I found out they were bringing back the Charger and making it a damn 4-door.
Yeah. So Janice in the chat says, my son has a 1984 Pontiac Fiero. That's for when you like to go fast and explode.
And the Pinto is just when you like to explode.
Pretty much. So I think we all know you're a gun guy. What else does Brandon get into outside of guns, outside of YouTube, that just kind of gives you a little bit of fun, a little bit of peace, a little bit of just relaxation?
I'm starting to get back in the gym. I used to do that a lot more, but I just haven't had time for it lately, and it showed. I like a year and a half ago, I was in far better shape. I was like fighting an MMA fighter kind of shape, and now it's just like, oh god, there's just a bit of a pudge, and I've lost all the gains. But I'm getting back to it. That'd be nice. And I'm starting to fuck around with motorcycles a little bit more. I've always liked them. I've ridden one since I was like 18, but I haven't had time to fuck with it.
Yeah. No, I'm surprised you brought up the MMA fighter shape, you know. I think DeLance told me that I had to take it easier on you than Kit Cope did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I promised him I would.
That was fun. Dude, Kit is such a cool dude. Like, I'd never met him before that. So that's actually really funny. And I consider him kind of a friend now. He's a really cool dude, and he knew exactly how hard he could kick my ass without actually hurting me.
Yeah, that's the whole point of being a professional fighter. You know, how far can you go before they start considering it attempted murder?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was like, don't get me wrong. I still had to like pound ibuprofen the next day, and you know he did very much choke me out. And there was probably a moment there I thought I was gonna fucking die, but you know, it was I could tell like we were having a good time.
Yeah. So a guy named Laugh Turd in the chat wants to know if you're into dirt bikes or street bikes.
Street bikes. I never really got into the dirt bike stuff. I don't know why. I guess I just, that wasn't my childhood, I guess. But I always wanted to be like the fucking James Dean, Billy Badass on a motorcycle. So I think I was 17, 18. I picked up a Honda Rebel 250. And
Gotta start somewhere.
That's what I palled around on. Now I've got a Maxim 400, but I think I'm going to sell it and just buy like a Harley Roadster or something.
Just go street glide. Get yourself into comfort.
Yeah. Like I like the classic cruiser stuff, like the Rice Rocket stuff. The having to bend over is just really awkward to me.
Yeah, I can't riding on your forearms. Like save that for the range.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to go fast. I don't want to go 120 miles an hour on a bike. No part of me thinks that's fun.
Well, you can go
cruise on a nice Sunday.
You can go 120 on a Harley.
Oh, you definitely could, but it's just
it bounces around and floats like a pillow.
That sounds like a great idea.
It's awesome.
It's like these things like, oh, well, this bike could go like 210 miles an hour. It's like, there is no fucking alternate universe where I am going 210 miles an hour anywhere on that bike.
Yeah, no.
Thanks.
I think back to Suzuki Hayabusas. I actually was working construction shortly out of high school. One of the guys I worked with sold me his for a really good price. I drove it twice, and 2 days later I sold it, and that guy a week later put it through the back of a bread truck.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so you know what? I kind of have this thing where I feel like the stats about motorcycle deaths and shit like that are way overblown, kind of like gun deaths and all this shit, because I feel like it doesn't account, just like gun deaths don't account for suicide. I feel like motorcycle deaths don't account for people being fucking idiots.
Oh, no, definitely not. I mean, you see it all the time. You watch the news, it's this and that, but I mean, especially down your area, there's a lot more people that are getting taken out by jihadi deer than there are in other places. I got a buddy who lives in Kentucky who's taken out. He was taken out 3 times in the last 6 years. He's been extremely lucky, but he gets back on the bike every time. So
yeah, I almost got taken out by a kamikaze turkey in the back roads by the shop with my bike, and I almost shot the damn thing because I was so pissed. Like I put the bike down sideways at the very end. I didn't get hurt or anything, but I was just like really pissed off.
Yeah, it's not fun. I've not been taken out by anything yet. I'll knock on wood to that because, it's the last thing I need. But yeah, once you get here, like I've got 2 young kids now. It's like I still enjoy riding, but like I went from half helmet just because the wife told me I had to wear it to I think I'm gonna go to a full face helmet this year and see how that goes. Got to protect everything just a little bit more. Keep the brain inside the bucket.
Yeah, see, you got shit to lose. You can't be doing the dumb young guy shit anymore, because that's...
Yeah. No, I mean, the dumb young guy shit went out the window a long time ago, but that still...
It's starting to with me, too, now, because now I have employees and real-world responsibilities. I have people... They're not my kids, but it's like I'm responsible for their livelihood just the same. So it's like, well, shit. Should I really... Because... I've had a lot of near-death experiences with what I've got. Like, there's lots of times I probably should have died, but it's like now every time it's just like, really? Do I want to do that? Do I really think that's a great idea? Yeah. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to get to that point though, because eventually, if you get there before your body gets there, you're much better off.
It feels like it sometimes though.
Because, I've got 2 blown out knees, this and that. It's not fun. So it's young and dumb and destroy your body.
Most of my stuff's like genetic that I just happen to be redlining my body on, and it's making it worse. Like my friends joke is like, yeah, dude, you're 24 going on, you're about to be 25, but you're a high mileage human. Like you're a newer model, but you've been around the block a little bit.
Yeah, you're that minivan that somebody put on 500,000 miles in 2 years, right?
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's a 2016 model, but whew.
Yeah, that's all right. There's something to be said for that, though. Still pretty new. Still relatively new.
Yeah, it's a new car.
Right. So outside of that, just thinking what's going on. How did you decide that giving up your law degree was what you needed to do?
I was gonna kill myself.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. All right, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out.
Yeah, it was between that and also looking at the stats. It's just like, oh wow, not only do I feel this way, but statistically, if I get the career, it's very likely to fucking open door number 3 on that one. So yeah, no, I really, this just isn't working for me. I'm fucking miserable. I hate being here. I don't even the end game here. I'm looking at the money that an average attorney makes in Fayetteville. I'm like, great. So it's gonna take me until I'm 42 to pay this off, and I'll still be fucking miserable. This is. Why was this desirable again? And it's, you know, just thought like, oh, before I punch that card, let's try that gun thing. That seemed like it was going to be fun, and I was getting a little traction with that. So who knows? I mean, FPS Russia did it. I might as well. It's possible.
Right. So did you ever think about going back and then becoming the white/brown Coleon Noir?
No. Fuck no. I love Coleon, but fuck no. I literally. So there was a really weird period, where the YouTube wasn't taking off. Like this was just before AR guys or CK guys. Like just debt was piling up, all sorts of just craziness, and it was just like it was looking like I might have to go back. In a less than joking manner, said I'd rather take a long walk off a short pier than go back to that lifestyle. So I stuck with it. And just in time, a couple months later, things started picking up, and then I saw the writing on the wall. So I got very lucky in that way.
Right. No, definitely. I don't know if I could, give that up as much as, I really do not enjoy engineering, but it pays the bills. And to walk away from that is definitely like, it's scary shit. But I started a lot later too, so there's that.
What do you mean?
Well, when I was young, I was dumb, so you probably don't know much about my story. So in 2001, I was convicted of a felony.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I spent 14 years atoning for my sins, trying to get shit taken care of, and actually January of this year, I got that completely removed from my record. So
good for you, man.
No longer a felon. I was able to purchase guns just in time to not be able to purchase anything. So... So it worked out in my favor. I got a little bit of an advantage over some, but
nice. Well, I'm glad you were able to get that taken care of. That's not an easy thing.
Yeah, no, and it was dragging me down a little bit, but I just used it as an excuse for a little while, and then kind of just never really dragged me after that because I had to move past it. So after 7 years of just shit, factory work, I decided enough's enough, and I went back to school. And I just went back to what my company that I was working for at the time was willing to pay for. So I got a free degree, and they decided to let me go like 2 months before graduation. So I was like, yeah, well, fuck it. I made my decision. They took their shit and they said, our investment is done. We're good with you. So they paid for my schooling, and I don't give a shit.
Sweat equity is, I believe, what they used to call it.
Yeah, they got it. So, but that's me. I couldn't. I don't know if I could walk away from a solid paying job to just pursue videos. But you did
it. That's a different thing too, because you got a solid paying career right now. When I did it, it was like, hey, I'm not getting paid shit right now, and I won't be getting paid shit this other way. So lifestyle wise, it's pretty similar. I'm doing way less work, looking up constitutional law and doing failing accounting 101 twice in a row and more into doing what I actually want to do.
Yeah, I get it. Accounting 101 probably is similar to my version of algebra, so I know they're completely different, but the fact is, like in high school, I failed algebra 3 times.
Oh Jesus!
At the same time, I was taking advanced architecture courses in college.
So that's the fuck thing. Is like I was a terrible student in high school, but I was actually pretty damn good in college. Because college, I was like, okay, this actually matters. Might as well.
Right.
Accounting, my God, I couldn't fucking do it. That whole course was just so redundant. It was just busy work over and over. And like, this isn't hard. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
Like, this is a full-time job for people, and I'm doing it for free for these fictional people in a book 50 times. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm just ranting. I never thought I'd be here ranting about accounting.
No, you know what? That's what's great about this is every single person I brought in, I enjoy just getting them off brand. Because I think we learn more about you. I mean, if I go back in the chat and it's like, he's only 24. He's only 24. How many people? People think you're like 40 or some shit? Like, you're not.
People seem to think I'm 30, which is because if I shaved the beard, I'd look like a fat 12-year-old.
Well, you haven't shaved the beard for quite a while.
I'm thinking about doing it again just to fuck with people.
I've thought about doing it, but my daughter would fucking kill me in my sleep. So.
Yeah, how old's your daughter?
She's 3, going on 40.
Oh, okay. So she would really not be having it.
No, she has never seen me without a beard. So.
And that's she's too young to reason with. So that's really a win.
Yeah, it's just she'll just kick you in the shins and run away.
Ooh, that's.
So Tufu likes to say my Brandon. So I'm guessing you're his precious today.
Tufu.
He wants to sniff your hair.
Nah, Tufu's the man. I can't wait to see him next month.
Yeah.
Tufu, you're coming to Clash Bash, right?
He is coming to Clash Bash. I know that for a fact. We've had that discussion.
Excellent. I would not be the same, frankly, and I think I might protest by not going.
Yeah, he said he's saving plenty of time in his schedule for cuddles.
Oh, good. Thank Christ. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even know if I was going to go to Clash Bash this year. I was going to plan on at least going for like one day, but I think I worked it out with the guys down there, and I cleared my schedule a little bit, and I think I'm going to be going the entire time. So I look forward to it. It's a good time down there.
Well, there's a couple guys in the chat that are going. We got Dickie B, Tufu. I know Coach said he's going next week. He can't wait to get down there too. And Coach Tuck. So yeah, everybody looks forward to it. One of these years maybe I'll get down there, do something. I got to buy an AK first.
What state are you in?
I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm right next to Tyler.
Gotcha. So you're really close to Texas.
Yeah, I'm. Hey, I'm in the same fucking time zone.
I was gonna say, like, if you're talking about longitudinally, yeah, you're almost there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, out of all the events and all the things that you do in a year, you get to do, with your YouTube channel and just your connections. What do you think? Or what is your favorite one to do?
That's a tough one. Probably SHOT Show, and not for the reason people think. Everybody wants to go to SHOT Show, and everybody wants to go to SHOT Show for the wrong reason. Everybody wants to go, and I try to harp on this too, because like I was that guy. Like, I want to see all the new products. I want to see what everybody's like. Oh, this is so cool, whatever. And it's just, and now I don't. I could legitimately not go to the show anymore. I don't care.
You go for the networking.
Not even just the networking, man. At this point, it's just like it's a little bit of that, yeah. On the business end, yeah, that's kind of important sometimes. It's usually like I make an appointment. It's just like a nice opportunity to have what would be a phone call in person. But I love the fucking. It's all my friends all over the world in one city at one time for a week in Vegas. So it's debaucherous. With all of my favorite, complete fuck ups, it's amazing. That's what I go for. I enjoy that quite a bit.
That's a good answer. I think that everybody you affiliate with would appreciate that. It's good to have that though, because I mean,
be there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think Fit and Fire actually put a question out if he should go, so you got to push on him.
He is this year.
You got to push on him.
I saw his post.
You think he's not gonna?
I think he said that he wasn't going to, and I don't really blame him on his reasoning. He said something along the lines he's going to take the money he would put towards SHOT Show because it's not cheap to go. Hotel room in Vegas and flights and everything for a week out there, and food and drink and what have you. Blow if that's your thing. just a lot of things that take it out of the budget, of course. So I don't really blame him. He said he's putting that toward
classes, training,
and travel and stuff like that. So I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, I know he's got a Kansas bleed class tomorrow, so he's doing that. I know he was talking about a lot of that stuff, and yeah, I can't blame him for not going, but definitely
I'll miss him, though.
Yeah, everybody misses him. He doesn't come around anymore, right?
He got too big for us.
Yeah, he's been a busy guy, though. I know I got him on here. I think I had him on like my third show, and he's just barely even settled into his house. He's just, he's doing a lot. Got a lot going on, so.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good dude, though.
Yeah, so Operator Tony wants to know, what was your first thought you had when you first met Tyler and Hypo?
Oh, so I didn't meet Tyler at SHOT. I met Tyler back at the Iraq Vet Shoot, I think the year prior. So I had already met Tyler in person. Hypo's pretty much exactly the same as he is on the internet. It's just he doesn't have that nice RGB background behind his video. It's pretty fun. I like hanging out with those guys too, because it's so weird to have it's like the Avengers of your friend group. Where it's just like, wow, I didn't know we were all doing a team up. It's like I've got, Donut Operator over here, and Eli and Matt Best, and then over here, Demo Ranch, and here's Tyler, Hypo, and Fit and Fire, and just Pew Pew Jew, and all these different people back and forth. It's just like, holy shit, I'm getting whiplash. This is like my entire fucking contact list at one time. Right. No,
and I mean, for the most part, it's really interesting, this community, and we've discussed it on several shows before already. The GunTuber community, and I don't even consider myself necessarily a part of it. I just know a lot of people in it, so that's where kind of the show has gone to start. But this whole industry is just so open, and just like, even you, I mean, you're I think I looked the other day, you're at like 758,000 followers or 752,000 followers.
It's almost there. I think it's like 740,000 on YouTube, and like 125 on Instagram. I try to keep on top of the stats.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You got it up there. You've got a hell of a following. And everybody I talk to, even, they're like, just talk to Brandon. He'll probably do it. He likes to take time for the little guy, just have a little fun, and he's always willing to give up a little time. And I hit you up, and you're like, "Hey, that sounds great."
It's actually, I'm really, honestly, pleasantly surprised they said that about me, because I do like to do it. Because funny enough, I remember when I was the fucking little guy, and people like Polinar Tactical and like John from Active Self Protection. Like, I did a fucking hour-long Skype interview with him, and I think it's still on my channel somewhere. And it's like he was willing to take the time out for me, and it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh my god, these people are fucking huge YouTubers now. It's I just remember it being really cool, and it's like, what the hell else was I gonna do right now? I mean, probably work, probably a lot of important work, but still, I could have been easily playing like fucking Warzone or something. So it's piece of shit, really.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it. It's always interesting just to get guys on, have conversations, and it's like, I've had people ask me, do you even know half these people? I'm like, no, but I don't mind having conversations with people, getting to know somebody a little bit, and being able to have a smaller sit down conversation. It's kind of interesting. It's definitely, people can come to the Discords, even, and get a live chat with, if you're on there doing that, and which your Discord, nobody wants to do that anyways, right?
I don't want to be up mine either.
I think I haven't. I'm one of the like community relations managers there, and I'm like, I don't have much time. Do I go there or do I go to the Tundra Nation? I'll go to Tundra Nation or Donuts.
I don't even, because I mean, it's one of those things where it got so restrictive, and I know why it had to have anything. It's like the best thing I have is like, things don't scale quite exactly the same as they were when they were small. Like, you could take a small animal like an ant that has super small legs, and that's totally fine, or a dog, super skinny legs. And then if you scale it up to the size of an elephant, it has to have those massive fucking chode legs. where, you know, because mass doesn't scale exactly right. It's kind of like that, where it's like back when we were super small, we could do a bunch of shit like that. And we could, you know, say all sorts of horrible shit that nobody cared because we were tiny. But then you start scaling it up and you get to where, you know, Twitch gets involved, Discord's involved, and everything like that. And all of a sudden you have to run a really tight ship.
Right. And the bigger you are, the tighter they are.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I don't know, it's just kind of a shame the way that works out, but it's just kind of a necessity, I guess.
Yeah. So Chamber Defense wants to make Brandon cuss. He says, anything new with the AK-50?
I'll let you know when there's a new video.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to ask the question. It's like, and there's so much shit going on, I'm sure, you know, behind the scenes. Yeah. You posted something probably 2 months ago now already, starting to get this, you know, Series 7 put together. And
yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the internet has the memory of a goldfish. So it's like, if you haven't publicly talked about it, and even then, like, people miss the uploads or whatever, but if you haven't publicly talked about it a lot in the last 3 weeks, people assume, like, project's off, it's canceled. It's like, no, if I give you too many updates, then you say I just talk the whole time. It's like, well, yeah, there's nothing really to show you. And if I do too little, you think the project... It's just kind of a weird catch-22. But I don't know. I have a good time with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to be a hell of a project. And if it comes in 10 years, it's a niche, man. It's a fucking thing to hang your hat on regardless. So it's
like,
engineering marvel.
I don't need it anymore. It's like, especially since now, Pride-wise, like I technically have already done it. It was kind of working before. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it to, you know, exactly where I wanted it to be. But I'm not in a hurry. I've got a lot of things going on. It's like, maybe we'll be able to devote a lot more time and resources to it later on. That's what I'm hoping for. But it's like right now,
Rome wasn't built in a day, so I don't think anybody. I mean, there's obviously people who are like, I want it yesterday, and they're all the same people who aren't going to pony up the fucking cash to pay for it either. So.
Yeah, people are like, well, this company developed one in like 2 years. It's like, yeah, they also had a budget of like 11 million and a team of 30 engineers with a bunch of CNC machines. So I'm not really impressed.
Yeah, and where is it now?
Yeah, it's like, whatever, man. I don't know. I have a good time with it, and as long as I keep having a good time with it, we're gonna keep doing it. Right.
I think it's definitely something cool, and you know, and if you do end up going production with it, I think it's to even.
Oh, we definitely will.
To even flirt with the, you know, saying under $7,000 is massive in the grand scheme of semi-automatic 50 BMG. So.
Yeah, everything we've done with design-wise was with production in mind. It's one of those things we could easily be doing like a functioning one-off, super easy. But everything was done like, how do we make this not only able to be produced, but also able to be produced and financially viable.
Right. How can we scale it to actually make it saleable?
Yeah, exactly. And like one of those things where like, okay, if we build it, each unit would cost 11 grand a piece. That's not viable. We can't do it that way. So, you know, there's a lot of considerations.
Well, that's what Barrett does, right?
Yeah, but they also have the strength of the U.S. Defense Department behind them with contracts for $12 million a piece a year. So it's like, all right, at that rate, yeah, sure. I'd put it up for $11K too.
Yeah, it's definitely there. So one question, and this is not necessarily from the chat, but it's from. So I have one of my partner stores that I work with. So on my website, I deal with, you know, merch similar to like Third Pin used to do with you, what Bunker Branding is doing, and. One of the guys is a reaction channel, and he literally just went through and watched AR guys versus AK guys 2 through 5. He's seen one like a couple months ago. So in one of those videos, I think it was 4, you speak in Russian, you make the joke to your mom, you know, the AR guy's mom, and then you talk about, but you say back in Russian. Yes. He wants to know, can you actually speak fucking Russian?
Not really. No, I do not really speak it well.
Not at all, but enough to make it sound like it.
Airplane, maybe at most. I'm not fucking fluent at all. And it's not even Russian, funny enough. That's not Russian I'm speaking there. That's Slovenian. And the reason why we chose Slovenian is because it's still Slavic. It's still that's a very much
Right.
that used to be Yugoslavia. That's an AK country for sure. But I actually had Giga from Poland Art Tactical correct. Like, hey, could you? We could put it in Google Translate, and I'm sure that would give me something close. But could you like make me enunciate this properly? So it's near perfect Slovenian. It's just people. I love to see the comments are like, "You're Russian shitty." It's like, well, thanks, bud, because it's not fucking Russian.
Yeah, that's definitely. It definitely,
like speaking Portuguese, and people are like, "Your Spanish sucks." It's like,
right,
well,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, go to Brazil.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that is pretty much all the main questions that I had. I think just going to chat here, Curran Martin, and we kind of covered this a little bit ago. He goes, on the theme of thick legs, how's getting back to the gym going? You kind of covered that earlier. You're trying to. Tufu says that you have a few drunk monkeys at the shop, which makes the AK-50 slower.
Employees. Yeah, no, we have that's the weird part. We have employees and we have the drunk monkeys, which that's some very interesting conflicts sometimes. You know, who's got left side of the shop, who's got right side. You know, sometimes it's just pandemonium in there.
Yeah, so I guess that's one thing. You know, how is it that? Oh, sorry, so how is it that? You know, you keep the business. Yeah, like that threw me off.
I just saw the same thing. I was like, oh shit.
I'll get it fixed. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube live studio. They just changed everything, and it sucks.
You know more than I do about that at the moment.
Yeah, so they changed everything, and like if you try to schedule something ahead of time now, it doesn't. OBS will not jump into the scheduled session. It's really fucking weird.
That is really fucking weird. Can you fill 20 seconds real quick?
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah,
so, yeah, no problem. So back to the chat. Yeah, I will fix that, definitely, Carcane. I may even fix it here while we're doing this. His laugh tread's talking about somebody not pretty enough. So he's answering operator Tony. Why does Brandon never reply to me when I text or DM him? Well, Tony, he's a busy guy. You know, I'm gonna have to dig in a little harder. If you got a question you want to ask and it's not too personal, go ahead and ask.
Yeah, ask me the personal shit. That's the best shit.
All right, there you go. There you go. He wants to know, is it really 10.5 inches? Oh, not a problem. He wants to know, is it really 10.5 inches or is it 11?
Fuck no. It's neither. Above average, but nothing to brag about.
Carcane, you're one of those. This is AK Daddy. Ugh. You once called him objectively wrong for inferring the AK was cheaply made SKS.
Yeah, that is objectively wrong. It's not even the same operating system.
Completely different operating system.
Completely different. Short stroke versus long stroke gas system. Falling block or tilting block versus rotating bolt. Just totally different. The only thing it has in common is the fucking wood.
Yeah. Everybody likes the wood, though.
Would be sexy, my friend.
So, Jester Actual obviously sees through your guys' kayfabe, but he wants to know if they're going to see a limited edition Kentucky Ballistic AKG-47.
See, I talked about getting him one. We talked about it because right now he's currently on a lot of Fridays running an IO.
Right.
And,
which is disturbing.
Right. Aside from the fact that technically, we're beefing right now.
Right. I mean, it's the kayfabe. We can't mess with it.
The what now?
The kayfabe. You know, you got to do the whole old wrestling bit.
Yeah. You know, like I can't technically I'm beefing with him and Demo Ranch. We'll probably see more about that next month. We'll see about all that mess, but I actually care about him and I care about his safety and I don't want to see him shoot a fucking IO one day and see like a live leak video of him getting a fucking bolt through the neck.
At least I think he has an imported one. At least it's a little better, right?
I don't know. I don't think he does. I'm
oh,
not sure.
oh. Well, then
I could be wrong.
We'll just pretend he does, and ignore the fact that the fucking thing's gonna explode.
Yeah, no, oh god.
Dickie B says if you do.
I've heard him about that. He knows that I know about that, and we've talked about it. I'm like, let me replace it for you, dude, because it's not his. It's I think an SOT that he uses.
Right.
The gun store owner.
Right. So Dickie B says that if you do it, it's got to be Cerakoted in a watermelon design.
That's actually clever. No, I need to like laser engrave an eggplant somewhere in there and not tell him.
You can burn it. Just burn it into the stock.
Yeah.
Sand it out a little bit and then revarnish it. No, you gotta make it noticeable.
And then like I'll tell him like 3 months later after he's put in a bunch of videos.
Yeah, or you can just fucking make it just flat out right there. Turn an eggplant into a grenade, and then some bitch. Now, there you go. There's a t-shirt idea. Turn an eggplant into a grenade.
Yep. Everybody hates eggplant with the fucking like grenade spoon up top.
Yep.
Grenade fuse rather. Oh yeah, I like his comment here. The full auto selector says it's watermelon time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. Like you got the safe, where you got whatever that would be. Safe, semi-auto on the bottom, the eggplant in the middle, watermelon time.
Yep, that would work.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
If everybody quit retracting their messages, I'm trying to read them, fuckers.
I feel like I'm reading a fucking government document.
Retracted. Is Hillary Clinton around or what?
Yeah, right.
Fill an eggplant with tannerite.
Operator Tony said, like, why do I never reply to text or DMs? Dude, I don't reply to anybody's text or DMs anymore. It's kind of bad. Like, my phone is blown up so constantly, and people around me now start to get it, because they'll actually hang out with me and they'll watch my phone just explode. I thought about getting another number or something. I just, like, half of these things I don't reply to because I know I can't commit to the text thread. Like, I'll accidentally ghost them, like, 2 messages down.
Right.
There's several times I'm sure, like, while we were putting this together, I'm glad you reached out so far in advance, because like I probably didn't open the message for like a week.
Yeah, no, actually it was surprisingly quick. I reached out quickly. I reached out so far in advance, and I think you actually responded back in like 2 days. I'm like, okay, wow, that actually isn't bad at all. But I get it. Like
people, like I talked to Coleon. Coleon's pretty bad at it. Donut is pretty bad at it, and I just realized, like, okay, they have more subs. I can only imagine, and they've been around a little bit longer, so I can only imagine how bad. Like, I know how bad mine is. I can only imagine how bad theirs is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have nearly the following anybody has. That I'm like, if I scaled this up by times 10, I wouldn't be able to fucking do it. I'd literally pay somebody to do my social media because I fucking can't. Like, it's ridiculous. And then it's not even just necessarily the fans too. The bigger you get, the more fucking garbage you get too. It's like, how many group messages where it's like, hey, I'd come fuck my video, you know?
Come fuck my video?
Yeah, pretty much. You know? That's,
I know what you mean, yeah.
You get some weird shit that's just like, no, I'm not really into, dumpster fires with red hair.
Yeah, that's the crazy. That's why I love the filters on Instagram. It sends it to other, and I don't have to look at other if I don't have to.
Right.
It's really great. And I usually don't, but sometimes I do go through, because I tell people not to DM me stuff. It's like, there's certain things, like if I'm looking for submissions or something, I tell people how to do it. It's amazing how many people go straight to the DMs. It's like, who the fuck? Wait, why do you assume I'm even going to see that?
Right. No, I get it. Especially like you do take content from people, so having people send you stuff, I'm sure, is like, just go to the Discord, just use the hashtag, just fucking follow instructions, and people can't do that.
Exactly. It's like I looked at curse gun images today. Fuck it, I'm looking at it right now. the hashtag curse gun images. There's 5.1 thousand posts under hashtag curse gun images. and I've probably gotten at least twice that in DMs. It's like, how really? Why? I told you where to put. Oh, damn it.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess, with social media essentially being part of your business, how much do you have your own stuff where you're like, all right, I'm just gonna leave this alone. Nobody knows this exists, and I'm not asking you to dox any of it, but do you have stuff for your family to where it's like, all right, this is where I want you to go. Like, I know it seems weird, but just use this, and then I can, deal with it.
Yeah. Like, so
you don't have to put out anything that you have an account anywhere because some asshole will fucking find it.
Oh, I know. No, and that's also the funny part is I really don't. I'm just trying to choose my words carefully and not accidentally, because you can't, whatever. But I don't, like, for example, I have a Facebook that I haven't used in years. That, it's old Facebook, whatever, and I've turned it to private now, and it's just there's nothing interesting there. I started adding too many gun people there in the early days, and it just became like not personal anymore. So I'm just like, fuck it, I just let it die.
Yeah. I think a lot of people make that mistake when they're starting all this out, is like having a personal thing, especially like your brand is around your name.
Yeah, well, it didn't always used to be. It was the AK guy at first, which I think that's one of the better decisions I made, was to change it to my name. It made it a lot more personal, and it pigeonholed me into the AK stuff less, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, but now you got, instead of just being called the AK guy, which obviously your website is theakguy.com. If anybody doesn't know, can head there.
We'll have guns up there next week, I believe. The new website launches next week. So
yeah. Good luck with that. I'm going through the same thing right now, and make sure you get plenty of time.
My condolences.
Name servers, all that shit. I'm sure you're paying somebody to do very nice work. I'm trying to do it myself, and it's I don't know. Last I checked, my shit show of a site was up-ish. My SSL wasn't installed on the new server yet, but
we're dropping like $4,000 on the new site, and even then, that's really not bad for what we need. It's,
right.
People don't understand how much money there is in the back end. It's like shit. My payroll now is like $17,000 a month. On top of $4,000 website. Oh fuck, we can't use any of the barrels for this batch of 50 under folders. That's another $5,000 we got to drop. Like it's kind of expensive doing this stuff.
Yeah, no, especially with what you do. I mean, everybody thinks, oh well, you're selling out. Yeah, you're selling out, but it's still a lot of upfront cost, and none of that money's guaranteed.
And the Louisiana deal was a $250,000 deal. Like that was quite a dick punch. So
right.
It's a dick punch that I'm still recovering from. I'm in the stages of being on my knees, getting back up from said dick punch.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what? It's one of those things where you gotta take the risk at some point.
Yeah. No, totally. So that was my fucking albatross. That's what it was torturing me for a while. I knew I had to do it. The money, it just made so much sense to do. I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep for a year, but I have to do this. Like, there's no choice. I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life if I don't.
Right. So American white guy, McCoy, he's actually coming on next week. He wants to know, do you model yourself after Jesus? And then he says you must have an oil painting next to his mirror in the bathroom.
I do not. My mother is very disappointed that I'm not a good Christian like she might be, but yeah, I don't do that, but it is always very funny to hear like her friend circle like, my God, he looks like he could be Jesus. I'm like, nope, that's a little too high praise there. A little bit more of a degenerate than.
Well, Jesus wasn't perfect, right?
I feel like textually that's kind of the point.
Right. Nobody's perfect. That's the thing. So there you go. Another day, another dollar, another time, another scholar, right?
Yeah, one of those deals. But no, I do not. To answer your question, no, I do not have an oil painting of Jesus or myself for that matter.
Laugh Turd says that you use the oil painting as a mirror. So.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That feels like a shitty mirror. I don't know. I feel like it's very bad at its job. Jesus won't tell me if there's something in my teeth.
Yeah, well, you never know. I mean, Basement Jesus has done good for Rich, right?
Oh, dude, I love that guy so much. He's so fucking fun. I didn't even know him before like 3 months ago.
No? Well, know him personally or know of him?
Both. really. Well, I'm sure I've seen him before. Like, okay, so funny story. I got him confused. Like, I don't really watch a lot of his content.
Oh, I saw Donut's vlog.
Oh yeah, okay. So you saw, like, I literally thought, like, in my head from just shit I've seen over the last few years, like once or twice, on Facebook feed or whatever, that him and Mike the Cop were the same person. The funniest shit ever.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I mean, they do. The sad thing is, and they do kind of look alike. To be honest.
But then I looked it up afterward. I'm like, oh god, no. No.
Completely different types of content, but they do kind of look like.
He's such a good dude, and he is so, like, his on-camera persona is so much how he is in real life. Like, he is. I don't know where the hell he gets the energy, but he's fucking hilarious, man. He is an absolute hoot to be around. I'm sure, when he was a young man, he would fucking slay it.
I'm sure he still could.
I'm sure. I think he still does. I think he's single.
Is he?
I'd love to go
maybe.
out fucking, if I were a single man, I would love to go out and fucking just slay it with angry cops.
Yeah, and obviously, he can still throw the punches. I'm sure you saw that most recent video.
Oh, we saw it when it happened, and we were texting him like, dude, what the fuck? Dude, nice right.
Yep, just drop it. There it is.
Yeah, dude, he was dropping heat. That was, he's like, yeah, dude, it's not very often you get somebody kind enough to record you throwing an elbow on somebody in the street. It's kind of neat. I do that well. I'm like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, definitely did. So Curran wants to know if there are any Killdozer updates out there.
Still looking for one. It's one of those things where we didn't really. I'm definitely not going to commit to So I think the exact model of Killdozer was a Komatsu D355A, which is like $100,000. We're not doing that. But like some smaller ones, like a $15,000 to $20,000 dozer, like a crawler dozer, something with treads. It needs that's where I drew the line. It needs to have treads, and it needs to actually have like a big blade and be a dozer that could like potentially plow through the side of a house.
Yeah, well, I know there's a couple old equipment sites down there, not near you, that they sell them. They have them, but you're talking like a 1968 Caterpillar D8. You got the old blade hook in the back too.
See, that's what worries me is the old stuff. I don't know how to fix that shit.
Most of the old stuff you don't need to fix.
Well,
to be honest.
Or is it really? Is it one of those things where like the old shit's just built super solid?
Yeah, the older, if you get anything like 60s through like 82 Caterpillar, it's gonna be a fucking tank, and literally a tank. You can't kill it for nothing. I've literally seen.
We wanted to partner with an armor company like fucking Air 500. Some motherfucker out there that can cut big ass steel plates exactly the size we wanted them, and just get a bunch of people together and have like a barn raising with a bunch of welders and just fucking like weld this bitch up and put like a fucking turret on top for the PKM we're building. Just do it right. Like just do an enhanced version. Maybe it's smaller, but it is more deadly.
Yeah, get yourself something hydrostatic, Get a lot more control in your manipulation.
I think it's a difference of philosophy on this one. So like for his, he was clearly taking out property. He's taking out buildings, whatever. On this one, it's like more of just, I don't want to be stopped by a hand grenade. Yeah, I want to be a mobile Iron Man with light machine guns and shit poking out the side.
Well,
that'd be pretty cool.
They do make mine-sweeping like skid steers.
Yeah.
So they're fully armored military vehicles, but they're skidsters.
I'm gonna look that up. Mine-sweeping
skid steer, yeah.
Skid steer. Follow along, class. Yeah, no shit. Huh.
Yeah, badass little up armored
than I would have thought.
Yeah, badass little up armored. They're supposed to be able to take a 50 to the glass. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one now. It's the Slovak. minesweepers headed to Nigeria and Bangladesh, which those towns sound like two countries that could very well use them.
Yeah, like in their fucking, residential neighborhoods.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fucking soccer field out back where all the kiddies play. Probably might want to run the fucking minesweeper out there.
So Carcane has the quote of the night. He says, "Brandon, most of the old shit I don't know how to fix. Also, Brandon builds AKs."
Yeah, no, totally. Like I can do the shit out of an AK. Yeah, you put me anywhere near a motor, I have the vague, I have the general concepts.
Oh, and Dickie B's got the inside track on the bulldozer. He says, "Check out Oiled Field Service Company auctions. A lot of those companies went under, and they're selling super cheap."
Interesting. I will open a new tab with that. Oil Field.
Yeah, Oil Field Service Company auctions.
All right, I'll add that one. Yeah, this is just how it goes, and so we're just trying to find out something.
Just down the rabbit hole.
This is my whole job. It is so like I brought in a new manager a few months ago, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, and he was working in another company before as kind of like their second in charge of the company. Wanted to come over here, so we hired him on. And he's like, Jesus Christ, he's like, this place is one fucking rabbit hole after the other, because we're just everything we do is so scatterbrained. But you just kind of have to be, especially like with the YouTube side of things. There's not just one side of the business; it's very multifaceted. So it takes a particularly ADHD mind to be able to work it all.
Yeah, no, definitely I get that with trying to produce content and keep people happy, and especially your people. They're fucking weird, man.
Yeah, dude. It's so fucking weird. It's just kind of fun. It's a fun weird. It's a weird that
right.
It's like could probably only have come from me weird. But it's still like it's always fun to have those people approach me in public when I'm around people who don't get it, especially people who don't even know. They know I do YouTube, but they don't understand. Like they don't watch the content. They don't
right.
Fucking know.
Right. No, I get.
It's just like so strange.
It's the same with me. Like in like my business, even Boog brand. Like, come on. Nobody gets that. My grandmother's like, "Oh my God, you started your own business," and I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
I can tell all my friends about it and support you. It's like
we should, don't. You're a flaming liberal. Don't watch anything.
Yeah, that's always my favorite one. Where like family members are like, "I'll tell all my friends." It's like, what? No, don't do that. I genuinely appreciate the gesture, but do me a solid.
Just don't.
Forget we had this conversation.
Yeah, I know. It's. I don't need any more people to know about it than do already, because I mean, like half the reason that I'm changing over my website and everything is literally like 3 weeks ago, my payment processor dropped me. They said, "No, we're not gonna support you anymore." It's like, you're too high risk. It was actually just Shopify, so I was just started the store on Shopify.
Shopify sucks.
Yeah, they
great. Shopify is actually fantastic with all the services that they provide and the rates.
Right,
and everything. They're awesome.
The cost value was like, wow, this is great. They're political as fuck.
Yeah, so I think they're based out of either like the Pacific Northwest or Canada, and they're super lefty.
Yeah, learned that.
Yeah.
So I'm switching processors, which you think is like a quick process, and it's like no, it's not. But I'm good now. So once this all switches over, I'll be golden. My new processor literally said, "It's weird, the only thing people usually get kicked for is like porn and guns." And I said, I mean, maybe gun porn, but I don't do either or the other.
It's like, well, I don't technically sell guns proper, but yeah.
Well, the way she literally told me, she's like, most people just have issues with guns or porn. And she's like, "Do you sell porn?" I'm like, "No." "Well, then you're good. Good to know. Good to know."
Yeah, it's always kind of funny that stuff where they're just like, "So what is it that you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, shirts." "You sell shirts."
Yeah, I sell shirts. It's simple as that.
My name is Boog.
Yep, and then like half my suppliers, I've gone through this shit in the last couple months now, where they're like, "Oh, we don't support Boogaloo movement stuff, so it's violent and hateful content. We're just not going to produce your shit anymore."
Just kind of like, you kind of have to give them the side eye. You're like, technically,
you're
yes.
an idiot. Yeah, yeah.
It's like I understand. I totally understand what they're getting at. It's like,
right.
Well, what I don't like is like, if they were completely consistent about that, then yes,
right,
I get it.
Right. No, and it's
like if you had a fucking BLM T-shirt that was just like "Kill Whitey" or some shit like that, they probably wouldn't say shit.
No, and I literally found that next day they were posting up, like, just in their Reddit, somebody's like, "Oh my god, the quality of my shirt was so amazing," and it's like, it's a fucking cop car engulfed in flames, like. All right, like okay,
you
so
just get to choose a violence against who, you know?
Right.
Just either, fuck, yeah, we can get on.
Well,
a tangent about
and
that.
and you can, I mean,
It's
I mean, we can be fair about it too. Like Boog, most of these Boog boys and the Boogaloo shit, half of them are out there and they're with the BLM. They're doing that. It's like they just want a Boogaloo at this point.
Yeah, which is so retarded to me. I don't get it. Where it's like, oh, well, dude, these people are never gonna be your friend.
Right. I mean,
These
even
people are bored. They don't
yeah.
even know what the fuck they believe, and the other half are screaming fucking Marxists.
Right. I mean, even the Kyle Rittenhouse group that was there. I mean, there's video of them from earlier in that night. They're literally like telling the BLM activists, like, look, as long as you're just destroying government property or against the police, we're cool with you. Just don't fuck with the buildings.
Here's the thing. It's like, and I've said this from day one. I support your right to protest. Stop throwing shit at my building.
Right, exactly.
The minute you throw a Molotov cocktail at my shit is when I am clapping you. So stop it.
Right.
Like, this is that is such a weird thing that, like, why is that not the conversation?
Well, I mean, the thing too, like, the conversation is, why the fuck are you burning your own goddamn, your own area down? Like, this is your own neighborhood. This is where you own it. And they don't.
They're not going into the neighborhoods like that. They go into the downtown areas. And stuff like
three-quarters
affluent business owners.
To be completely honest, like Kenosha, and I mean, I'm from 45 minutes north of there.
Oh yeah, sure.
As we're commonly referring to it now, Kenosha Dishu, is literally the area they burned down is their own neighborhood. They burned down like 80% of the businesses they burned were black-owned businesses.
So that's the weird thing. So that's what I was noticing. Like, so that one in particular, that one's different. That one I was seeing like lots of videos where you have like this one black dude who just like comes out of there screaming like, "It took me 20 years to build this. Like, what? Go away! What the hell, man? Like, friendly fire." It's like, yeah, well, I don't get it, man.
I don't even understand what it accomplishes, but whatever it is, I guess I'm never gonna understand it because it's the crux of it. Like, I can't look at how what they're doing is benefit. So
it's completely detrimental to even what they're trying to do. But this is one thing I wanted to ask you, since you're from around that area. Here's what I heard was after the Kyle Rittenhouse incident, self-defense shooting. I was hearing that like the couple days after that, the riot situation completely went away. Like nobody went out there. Like it was a lot.
Oh yeah. So what had happened was, so Evers literally, which is our governor, he took a shit ton of backlash for telling Trump to keep the federal officers out of here.
Oh, good. Well, fucking good.
As soon as that backlash hit, because literally it's like Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay are the three biggest like city centers in the state. And they're liberal as all get out.
Surprise.
Rural Wisconsin, like, I can't drive a mile away from my house and see more than maybe 2 Biden signs, but I'll see 100 fucking Trump signs. So, I mean, it's as conservative as can be everywhere else.
Right.
There's little pockets here and there.
Grow the food.
Yeah, so they pushed back really fucking hard. And the day after he told Trump to go fuck himself, he was on the phone going, "Daddy, can I have help?"
Yeah.
And
that's the shit I don't like. They play that super big posturing game, and then they're just like, "But we really need that federal funding." That's
Yep. So that was the thing, like, and they made a big deal out of him not wanting the help. but nobody said a fucking word about him bringing in the National Guard. So he upped the National Guard, and the first few nights of the riot, he had the National Guard there, but he had like 100 soldiers and like 8 cops.
Yeah,
you're not gonna do shit.
Protocol. What people don't realize is like before they bring in the ambulance, if there's an active shooting, the cops roll in first and secure a perimeter. It's like, we will fucking help you. We got to bring in the fucking National Guard first to make sure that you're not still burning down buildings, or else when we try to help you rebuild them, you're just gonna fucking burn it again like you did the first time.
Yep.
Like,
so
this is kind of intuitive to me.
So yeah, like 2 days after Kyle, he backed off and he's like, okay, we need the help. And literally that next day, they had 30,000 troops in Kenosha. Kenosha has like 60,000 people who live in it.
Is that what you just fucking said?
Yeah, they were literally down there. I think they had 3,000 on the street, and they had every other National Guard member in the state ready to mobilize.
Jesus.
So, I mean, I work with a couple guys that are in the National Guard, and they were literally told, gear ready to go. If any contact is made, you're going in.
That's crazy.
They had maybe 100 protesters out there. They had maybe 100 protesters out there that first night, and the next night there was no one.
This is the most irritating part, is that these people are the BLM crowd and stuff like that, and the rioters especially. I talk about the BLM crowd. The BLM crowd, as far as like the average person there, I don't think has bad intent, but the BLM organization and the rioters specifically are being such fucking assholes that they are making me root for the police state, and I hate that they are making me do that, because I really am. At this point, I'm full on, just like, I want to see a rioter get pegged in the balls with a 40 millimeter. Yeah, fuck yeah. Like,
yes. I will so fucking play that on repeat.
Yeah, like they're so far on the other end of the pendulum. It's like, I hate the fact that this is where I am politically now, but you guys push me here. So
right, and I think me and Tuck talked about that last week too. It's like, we didn't move. We're standing in the same fucking spot we were 5 years ago. You motherfuckers ran with that leash all the way down the fucking hallway.
Yeah, it's like, you're the one who moved your goalpost, and now we're super far right. Authoritarian right or whatever. It's like, no, I'm still like, I'm just protecting property rights, like I've always been. It's like, this is the new goalpost.
Yep. I don't really care what you do as long as it doesn't hurt me or anybody else. Just fucking leave me alone.
Even some of the stuff they were doing toward government buildings, I may not agree with it, but I'm like, that is anger. At least I think it's unjust anger most of the time, but it's at least pointed at the right person.
Right. It's pointed at the person you're saying you want to point it at.
Exactly. And I still don't think that's peaceably assembling, but at the same time, at least, okay, that the rage is pointed at. It's like, hey, Boo Brand, fuck you. Yep. I hate your business practices. I'm gonna burn your building to the ground. And then shooting my neighbor. It's like, whoa, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, that was a totally uninvolved party.
Right. No, and it's crazy too. Like, it's all this woke movement and all this, Black Lives Matter, and I don't care. I think all lives matter. Black Lives Matter. I'm down with the message, sure, but the shit that's happening and the people that are pushing this, it's like, you don't give a shit about anybody. You don't realize that if what you want happens, you are going to be the first dog put down.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
But and it's really oddly, middle-aged white women and like 20-year-old soy boys that are white kids from the suburbs.
It's a lot of white guilt. It's really weird. I can't remember where I was reading it. There was an article about the militarization of the middle-aged white woman in the last 5 years. Is really interesting. It's just like, wow, I really think we may be fucked up with Facebook. Maybe that was not a good thing to introduce mom to.
Yeah. And grandma's got it, mom's got it, everybody's fucking got it.
Yeah. It's really weird shit, man. What a weird fucking
I think
I'm just sitting here with the home defense RPK, just kind of like waiting for it to sprawl to the suburbs.
Yeah, social shit right now is absolutely crazy, and I think we've kind of brought it on ourselves, with social media. Everybody's so detached from everything, and there's nothing you do. one of my uncles passed away, and this was like 7 years ago already. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I still can't believe that this happened, but 7 years ago, we were in a lot better position than we are now with people in social media. But I only learned that my uncle passed away because somebody shared something on Facebook like 3 days after it happened. Like, what weird, the fuck?
It's also like, there's a weird advantage to that, though, because it's like, how long would it have been otherwise?
Right. Yeah, I mean, nobody called me, obviously, but yeah. I think, maybe without social media, would they have? That's the question.
Yeah,
like,
it's a weird, like, kind of like, it's impossible to know, but it's
right.
It's interesting. I see that American white guy here. How do you feel about citizens being arrested or detained for defending their homes? I think it's horseshit. Like that one business owner that they were trying to fucking ruin his life and he killed himself because he clapped a fucking ignorant asshole that was trying to destroy his business.
Yeah,
that would be me, dude. They're at the fucking doors of my shop. Absolutely, dude. No. You're lucky it was only one dude. I'm going after the crowd of you. You were helping.
Right. That's I think that's 100% right. Like the fact that people are standing up for themselves. Even Kyle. I mean, regardless of what anybody believes, whether he should have been there or not. And I personally don't think he should have been there, but I don't think he should have been there for a different reason than a lot of people do. I think that somebody taught him how to be a respectful citizen and what his duty is. I'm pissed that he was out there and the person who taught him wasn't.
That is the first time I fucking heard that, and that's genuinely interesting.
Yeah, it's to me that's the thing.
Where
like,
the fuck is dad, kind of thing.
Why are we letting the children and we do this with our military too? Why are we letting our youngest out there to just destroy their lives?
Yeah, no, I mean that's totally fucking valid. That was the one thing. I'm not gonna lie, like I was terrified as soon as I posted that video. Like I got something wrong in my video. I said it was a Molotov. Turns out it was just an object in a plastic bag.
Yeah, so I mean, I was
worried.
It's hard to tell.
I was worried something was gonna come out that like, oh yeah, he had said on social media the day before, like I can't wait to kill some protesters or something like that would come out, but it never did.
Right, it didn't.
He just seemed like all around good kid.
I mean, and it comes out, and we probably know more information up here than a lot of people nationally. But I say that, but then at the same time, it's gotten a decent amount of coverage from a couple people in particular. But he's being politically lambasted, and the proof is in the state. Is in the just cause statements of what they're charging him with.
Did you read that entire document?
I read the entire thing. The arrest report. Yeah. I mean, they literally are putting it out there. They handed him a self-defense case in the just cause statements.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
For the next 2.5, for the next 2.5, 3 years, he's fucked.
I can't understand why we're bringing this guy in.
No, and it's exactly it. It's like literally you read that, and the only thing you can think is they literally are charging him to appease the mob. And we're to the point where we're willing to destroy this 17-year-old kid's life for the next 3 years. And they put a fucking $2 million bond. They put a $2 million cash bond on his shit. He ain't getting out once he's in until it's over.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I didn't know about that.
So what was
one thing I was afraid of?
Yeah.
About the whole Kyle Rittenhouse case? Yeah. I was worried that because of how positively he was being portrayed, that like a week later we'd have like a follow-up incident from one of these like wannabe boog boys who like was all it takes is one dude who just all he sees is social media validation, and he goes like, I want that, and goes out there and finds the smallest thing to consider an aggression and then just start opening fire on a mob thinking he's the next Kyle Rittenhouse.
You mean really, like they did you mean like the left did in Seattle?
Exactly like that, except here's the thing, we're good at violence. The left is not. And I worry, it becomes a bigger story when there's 8 bodies instead of
Yeah, that's the thing, and I've told that to the wife too. I'm like, they really, really need to step back. They need to stop pushing us to violence because we are really fucking good at it.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't think, it's kind of one of those, it's politically incorrect to talk about, but these pussies are really bad at it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. I'm really glad they are, but it's almost more dangerous on our side politically that like
yeah,
all it takes is one dude, man.
I look at it too from a standpoint if they decide that they're actually going to bring this to a war, um, they've got a world of hurt coming for them because it's just making it that I have to carry less ammo.
Yeah, it's fucking weird thing, man. So it's a weird times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, definitely. So, Johnny Pop Tart says the left doesn't want right wing death squads. I don't think anybody wants right wing death squads, and I think that's one thing we need to be clear about too. I don't think anybody on the right wants it either. Like, if we really break it down and look at all the incidents that have happened over the last year, we're in full on active fucking war. The right just doesn't engage.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not doing this yet.
Revolution so far is because we haven't indulged them.
Right. That's literally the thing. Like, we just haven't engaged, and
because we have shit to lose. Like, we're the guys
exactly
with families and jobs and businesses and shit, and they're fucking assholes in the street throwing rocks, man.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
If I got involved in something like that, like I could lay down quite a bit of hurt with just what I carry around in my truck on the day to day for no reason other than the fact that that's just what I have for my job, and I don't fucking want to do that because I know it's gonna make my life hell for the next 2 years and probably ruin my livelihood. It's like I would, but I do not want it. I specifically want the opposite of that, and I stay out of the cities when I can because I don't want that.
Right. Yeah, American White Guy says, I don't want war, I fought in one, but I will not watch my country be destroyed. And I think we fully agree with that. But there's a point where we got to ask ourselves, how far gone is it already?
And what the alternative is. It's like what's the proactive action being proposed, and what is the result of that?
And I think it's the one thing that people don't consider. I think the big thing too that gets lost is the fact that one person does not make an army, and regardless of how anybody wants to look at it, when this actually goes, if it goes that way, we're literally somebody's gonna have to make a move. Somebody's going to have to do something, and everybody's going to actually have to follow through with it. Like, because one person doing something, and I hate to say this, but, like, Timothy McVeigh, I don't agree with anything he stands for, but he did. And he had a lot of people who believed like he did. You know, the Patriot movement really was behind a lot of what he believed in. He just went over what they were willing to accept as, an acceptable means of operation. And
yeah, I would say so. And then that, I guess that leads to that's one of the conspiracy theories I do get into a little bit, is the Timothy McVeigh thing like that. Because I don't know. I wouldn't fucking there. I know some people who were involved in the legal side of that, but I wouldn't even give it odds with like the official story versus the conspiracy version. But assuming the official story is correct, the dude blew up a fucking building full of kids.
Yeah,
and, like, that's
exactly.
just not the right way to go about shit,
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that, and I have a unique perspective on the whole thing too, because I kind of come into it like I used to be a webmaster, and I'd run a website for the 3%ers. Like, we used to have 15,000 people on our website on a daily basis, and there's some fucking kooks in every group. I mean, you can't control it.
It attracts a very special kind of people.
It does, and the tinfoil hats are strong, but like Johnny Poptart says, lone wolves get nothing done. But I think that mentality is for everything. So everybody wants to say that we can't fix this from a standpoint of voting. Yeah, maybe we can't, but we need to start locally. We need to do it, and we need to try. And then when laws come up that are fucked, instead of allowing one person to get lambasted by the fucking system for it, we need to stand up together and actually fight it.
Yeah. And you know what?
These guys with these mag bans and shit like that is ridiculous.
And I'm gonna have to run after this, but I'll take a different approach as far as like the guys who like try to accelerate stuff and like, we just want it to collapse faster or whatever. It's like, okay, odds are like you're either mentally damaged or you have nothing to lose. And a lot of us do have stuff to lose and we don't appreciate it.
Right.
But the thing is, like, think about that and remove violence from the equation. So my dad used to tell me something that I still believe is inherently true, which is the political mindset of the country is a pendulum. It'll swing back and forth. Like, it swung too far. Like, let's say the returning vets from World War II, very, very, aggressive, but a lot of them are really fucked up from the war.
Mm-hmm.
You had an entire generation that grew up knowing, like, this is what war does. Oh my God, it fucked up my dad. We do not want war. We want peace. And then you get swings all the way to the other side in the late 60s with the flower power generation, who's super hippy dippy shit. Give peace a chance, all free love,
Mm-hmm.
free everything kind of crowd. And it keeps swinging back and forth and back and forth. And I have a lot of faith that, as bad as the system is going to get and has gotten clearly, that a lot of people are starting to see it for what it is. And a lot of the BLM stuff is getting so bad to a degree where, like, the average person, the Democrats are starting to fucking turn around on it, where they're like, no, wait a minute. With all the protests we supported, we don't actually, we support law and order and all this stuff. It's like, oh, somebody showed them a fucking interest chart in the public polling, because the average person is not behind this. Like,
Yep.
They started behind it, and then they saw what kind of fruit that bore.
Right. I mean,
And
you can only.
I don't know. I have faith in that.
Yeah,
that
you
people
can
are
only
gonna see
fake
what
the.
this is.
You can only fake the division so long before people realize that it's not really that divided. So.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm maybe naively hopeful for it.
You know what? It's good though. We always need people who are half glass empty and half glass full on both sides. So even though your glass is half full of White Claw, we still appreciate your view. I had to get one last dig in on it.
You earned it. You earned it.
So, I know you said you got to get going. I appreciate your time. I don't want to take up any more. Let you get back to what you're doing. So, again, appreciate everything you do. Appreciate all your content, and just keep doing what you do. I think it ain't going to be long, and we're going to see you with that M after your subscribers. So,
fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. As long as we can get there, we'll be happy about it. Man, I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. Keep it up. Appreciate it, and like I said, just do you. You got a long way to go. You're still young. You're gonna do very well for yourself.
We shall see. We shall see. ATF can decide that it all goes away tomorrow. So we'll one day at a time, my man.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of knowledge out of it, anyways, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a wild ride either way.
All right, man.
That fucking 2017 minivan with 500,000 miles on it.
Yeah, you got to paint it green and call it Morty.
Yeah, the moldy, is that one?
Yeah, is that moldy? Yeah, I must have misread it. All right, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one, and we'll.